recording. There we go. And you see that, and then you hit My Labs Plus. You hit My Labs Plus again, and this is where y'all start. This is where y'all, not meaning y'all in here, but students, look at the bottom, write that down. Only secure content is displayed. Hit Show All Content. Some of you may get that message, and it works fine. You should. Some of you may not get that message. Some of you may get another message. Let me see if I can make it come up. Let me get out of this, log out, get out of this. I'm doing this for y'all, so just wait a minute. Let me go to Explorer. Let's see if I can make it work on this one. I'm trying to get it to show the error that y'all get. 155. 155. Go. And watch it not do it because I'm trying to get it to show the error. Now it's not going to do it for anything. I'm not believing this. Okay, well anyway, up here in the right hand corner, your address bar will go all the way across the screen. And over here on the right, you'll see a shield. Okay, let me show you what that shield will look like. And I just have to do it like this because Epson. Really? I'm sorry. Everything is bass backwards today. There we go. Now let me pull up my handy dandy okay, let me refresh. Okay, it's not going to do it for anything in the world right now. Like when you take your car to the mechanic shop, it never does make the sound. Well, I can't get the error to come up. But over here, on the right-hand side, I'm going to just draw it, and then you put it in your notes. This address bar will be all the way over here. Okay? And at the right-hand side, there'll be two things that show up over here. One of two things. One is a shield that looks like this. All right? You right-click on that shield, and you're going to be asked to allow, I think it's allow unsafe info or something like that. All right? Okay? You need to allow unsafe info. Now, one of two things will happen after you do that. If you hit allow unsafe info, it might go directly to this. But there's another thing. Or, if it doesn't go all the way to that, you're going to see a red X appear. It's like a piece of paper and then a red X in it. Like that. If you get that, you need to right-click on the red X. I'm going to put like that. Right-click. And allow, is it allow? It's not allow cookies. It's allow pop-ups. Thank you, whoever said that. And then you'll be able to run.
Or you got to refresh it. Then it'll work.
Yeah, or one of two things will happen. You'll either get the shield right here, be right in there is the shield, and then after you do that, the X will show up a little bit to the left, and you may not even need to do the shield. And I don't know, it depends on your home computer, that just depends on y'all, okay? Now, something else. When you get to your, I'm going to give you this information also. After you have registered and you have put your access code in, there's going to be a confirmation screen that says you are now a student or you are now in MyLabs Plus or something to that effect. And it's going to say log into class after you've done it. Okay? When you reach that point, you are in MyLabs Plus. So then you can go to this website, www.tctc.mylabsplus.com. Write that down. That website, you need to save it as a desktop. And when you save that as a desktop, you can bypass what's it called? Blackboard. You can bypass Blackboard, which is down half the time anyway. You can bypass that, and you can go directly to your website. Let's go ahead and just see what happens. I'm going to log out of this. And well, that's what it looks like right there. I'm going to pull it up just for giggles. tctc.mylabsplus.com. See, it goes directly to this. Now, how do you know it's the right one? Well, what does it say across the top of it? It says, for those that can't talk, MyLabs Plus for Tri-County Technical College. Settle down, Oconee. Y'all are getting a little bit too loud. Do y'all drink like Mountain Dews or anything? Or coffee or?
No.
Okay, well y'all know those little energy shots that you get in the convenience store? Y'all need to get some of those. Okay? Y'all need to be more interactive. I'm not going to be able to work in this environment, okay? Y'all need to be a little bit more interactive. Anderson, I done gave up on Anderson. There's only 2 people here, and one's late, so I'm going to have to rely on the Oconee campus to talk, okay? Can y'all do that for me?
Yes, sir.
One person. Thank you, one person.
You're welcome.
I can rely. Who is that? Who's speaking up there?
Yes, sir.
Me and my
Okay,
daughter.
little girl, she's speaking. I appreciate that. Thank you for being interactive, young lady. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nobody
She said
else. See, these grown-ups, they don't like me, but you do. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Type in HMCCLURE. That's your credentials from Tri-County Tech. So if you are jsmith3 at tctc.edu, you can type that in. Miss Johnson, what are you? MJOST 13 or something?
S. John's 41.
Okay. Yeah, I figure with Johnson you're gonna be number 41. Yeah, that's normal. Smith is like 107. All right. So type that in, and then you type in your password. Now, if you've never used MyLabs Plus, or if you're a new student, it will be your T number. Unless you've changed it to a password, your T number is going to be capital T, and then your zeros, and then your rest of your number, and you're in. And if you're in, when you get your access code punched in, this is what it should look like. Well, not like mine, because I've got like 17.
When does it end out for you? Like, say you already bought it before, when does it end?
It all depends. Did you have this book before?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Then it shouldn't end at, usually they set the dates at a year.
Okay.
So if you had this last semester, you should be able to go back in, and when you go from the MyLabs Plus on the Blackboard, or you log in with your username and password, it should have your last semester like this, summer, and then it should have this semester, and it should have Math 155. Let's see, you're the what? I'm looking for 155. Where's the 155? There it is. Yours should be.
I had it in the spring.
Okay, I'm talking about this semester.
Oh,
there
okay.
it is, right there. Yours should look like this right here, because it's got the OC.
I got you, sir.
This is the Anderson campus. That's the Oconee campus. Capiche?
Capiche.
And then you click onto this. I'm not Italian. I'm not Mexican either, but I do say comprende from now and then. But sometimes I say understand. A lot of people say, well, if you ain't Mexican and you ain't Italian, what are you? Dang old black Irish. Y'all think I'm kidding? All right, I'll show you right now. Y'all don't believe me? I get this all the time. When I say I'm black Irish, dang old, I'm in the minority. Black Irish. Look at there. Dang old, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Dang old, there it is. Tell me I ain't. A black Irish, they do not have red hair, and they do not have fair skin. And my mother and my father, my grandmothers, and all my grandmothers and grandfathers are all Irish. Scottish Irish. So you figure it out. But I am black Irish. That's the only thing I come up with, because I do the genealogy thing. I need to do one of them dadgum, what do you call them things you spit in a jar? What do you call them? Dang old DNA test, what do you call them?
Yeah.
23andMe or one of those Ancestry.com. It might come back that dadgum Saudi Arabian or something. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, nobody's going to say anything. All right, I was trying to get off on a tangent, but y'all won't even follow me off on a tangent. Anybody ever done one of those DNA things?
No.
Dang old Maury Povich, dang old Maury show. Never done one of them.
You know what's crazy? I found awesome housing. I've only done
All right, I'll shut up and we'll talk about math because somebody's going to complain. Once you get to the math course, you got Math 155. Look here. And see, what you say your name was, Mr. Robinson?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Robinson, you don't need an email from me because now I put my handouts and everything on MyLabs Plus. So all you need to do is get to MyLabs Plus and everything's there.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
with me?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Okay, there they are. Everything I went over the other day. And Mr. Robinson, you can go back on YouTube, and I'll show you YouTube today since you are new. Go on YouTube and you can pull up the first day video and go over that.
Okay.
Okay? So there's
Yes,
that, and I'm not going to go over that. Today we're going to go over how to use MyLabs Plus. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about is the book, because some of y'all have a hang-up about books. One, y'all think I'm going to throw you out of the classroom if you don't have a book. No, I don't really care if you have a book or not. You can bring a book. Did you get the book? Is that your book right there, or is that a book? Is that 155? Okay, she brought a book. She got one they call it a la carte, meaning that it's just the units that we use, and you stick it in a notebook. Okay? Can you borrow a book? Yes. Can you bring a book from 2016? Yes. Can you share a book with a friend? Yes. I do not care what you bring to class as far as a book goes. All right? I do not care. The only thing I want you to bring to class is something to write with, something to take notes with, and maybe a calculator later on. We might use the calculator a little bit, not much. Most of the work that you do in here is done by hand. Okay? And when I tell you you need a calculator, that's when you need a calculator. All right. Got that out of the way. If you want to get the book online, you go to chapter contents or e-text. Write that down. Book online. Chapter contents or e-text. Write that down. So therefore you won't ask that whenever you want to print out the book. So we're going to look at that. Chapter contents. I think one of our first chapters is chapter 5. 5.1. You pick out. That's why the outline is so important. That outline that I told you to get, which is on the syllabus, that's why that one's so important. So you can go through and print out the sections that we're going to cover. E-text. And this should come up with And those of you that have a book, I don't know if y'all have a book or not, but if you have a book, eventually, 10 years from now, hopefully, it's working. Hopefully it'll come up. Whenever the book does come up, it'll come up a whole lot faster on your PC than mine because, okay, the browser, we recommend Chrome. You know, Internet Explorer really sucks. Nothing works on Internet Explorer. Nothing. I'm irritated because now I got to go through the whole spiel again. I got to log in because Internet Explorer, I'm going to quit using it.
Back in my day, it used to work.
It's the Russians, what it is. The Russians.
You remember you used to have the CDs back in the day?
What?
AOL?
Yeah.
That's
Have
when I
to
used
use
to-
CD.
Yeah.
Okay, let me-
Most of them-
gctc.mylabsplus.com. Now I got to go through all this again because I can't work in this environment. Yeah, we do have some issues. Tri-County Tech, Internet Explorer has issues. 155 AC. Okay, now as I was saying, what was I saying? Chapter contents. I'm sorry, chapter 5. You can do chapter contents or you can do whichever one you want. 5.1, e-text. Now that we got a search engine that should work, if this says I can't do it, we're just going to quit. Oh my gosh, it's not that complicated. Something's happening. Eventually. Oh, we got a circle. We got a circle with something going around and around and around. So that means it's making progress. At least it's not saying your search engine sucks. At least it's not saying that. Oh my Lord. Well, it brings up the book and you can print it out. Just write that down. Chapter contents, and we'll check on that in the next 15 minutes and maybe it'll come up. But that's how you print out the book. And you can print it out and you can put it in a notebook, and instead of carrying around a whole notebook, no offense, but instead of carrying around like that notebook that's about that thick, you can just bring one of the little notebooks that are about a ½ inch thick and just have it done by units. So that's up to you. Okay? However you want to do it is fine with me. I really don't care. Okay? Now, let's look at the homework. Now, this is not homework. If you want homework, you go to, but I'm going to pull up study plan. Just ignore what, study plan, write this down, is extra problems, no credit. Write that down. Study plan means extra problems, no credit. As the old saying goes, extra practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay? So study plan, but these are where the homework problems come from. So when I make a homework assignment, I drag problems over from the study plan. So here we go. Now this is very important that you write notes down on this because this is pretty much the reason we're having class today, is to show you why and what to use. All right. If you look under question help, you see these 4 or 5 icons right here. And I want you to write them down in your notebook, and I want you to skip 2 or 3 lines between them. So write, help me solve this, then skip a couple of lines. View an example, skip a couple of lines. Video, skip a couple of lines, and so on. Do that right quick. There's a reason I do things, okay? There's a reason. Kind of like the Marine Corps, there's always a reason for something. All right, help me solve this. Have you ever been to a tutor or a teacher and asked them a simple question and they go around the world asking you 15 questions? That is a help me solve this. Let's say if I gave you 2x plus 3 Where is, oh, there it is, sorry. If I gave you 2x plus 3 is equal to 7, and you don't know how to do that problem, and you go into the tutoring lab, and the tutor says, okay, well, what kind of sentence do we have here? And you look at them like, I have no idea. And then they say, you have an algebraic sentence. And then they say, why do we call it an algebraic sentence? And you say, I have no idea. And then you say, and then they say, well, it's an algebraic sentence. Now see, why did that camera turn around like that? That's very irritating. All right, anyway, thank you. And what did you do to get it to turn around?
Nothing. I said something.
Well, I tell you what, she's commanding. She just has to say something, and daggum camera turns around. All right, and I say algebraic, and why? And the tutor says it's algebraic because this is a what? And somebody says what? A variable, Hubert. That's right. Thank you, class, for the interaction. So, and then they say, okay, what do we do to get rid of a positive 3? Subtract 3. And if I subtract it on one side, you got a what? Okay, what am I doing throughout the whole what am I doing throughout the whole What am I doing throughout the whole tutorial? There we go. What am I doing? I'm asking what? I'm asking questions. That's the difference between a guided tutorial and a tutorial. Now, for help me solve this, I want you to write down beside it, guided tutorial. Meaning that it's going to ask you what? It's going to ask you questions. Watch. That's fine. That's just restating the question. Here we go. Find blah, blah, blah. The prime factors of 15 is 3 times what? 3 times 5. And you got to type in the 5 before you can go to the next sentence. Prime factorization, 2 times 3 times 3. Now, have we answered the question? No. What are we doing? We're working our way through the steps. When is this beneficial? When you have no clue. Write down no clue. When you are covering material that you have never seen before, that's when you use help me solve this. Does everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't call me sir. I work for a living. Appreciate it. I'm just kidding. That's
The way I was raised.
Huh?
The way I was raised.
Exactly. All right. But what's next after help me solve this? The next thing is view an example. Here is view an example with that same tutorial. The same guy the guided tutorial. 2x plus 4 is equal to, what was it? 7. I'll just make it up. That's, okay, whatever. We'll use this. All right. The first one said, okay, what is this? This is blah. What is this? This is a variable. What is this? How do you get rid of a positive 4? Okay, this is what show an example does. Minus 4, 2x is equal to 3, x is equal to 3 halves. What did I do there? I just solved it and I didn't ask any what? Questions. That's the difference between help me solve this and view an example. View an example is when you're just knocking the cobwebs off. Now what does that mean? It means I'm trying to remember stuff, Hubert. That's right, class. Thank you for the interaction. Okay, interaction makes the class go by a whole lot faster, so I appreciate the interaction. You're welcome, Hubert. All right, so when you're doing the view and example, that's when you have seen it before. Like some of you had Algebra 1. Some of you had pre-algebra. Some of you had Algebra 2. And you recognize the 2x plus 4 is equal to 8, but you don't need somebody asking you a bunch of what? Questions. So, what do you need to put for help me solve this? Just show me how to do it. Just show me how to do it. And maybe you might want to put jar your memory. Okay? Now, I realize that some of y'all were not here for the first day of class. Okay? And I realize that some of y'all did not get the handouts as far as texting in class and using your cell phone in class. Just want everybody to remind, what would you do if you came up to me and asked me a math question and I started texting? What would you do? You would have a conniption. That's what you would do. You would say, oh, I cannot believe he's doing that. Just a reminder, if you need to use your phone, go outside in the hallway and use your phone. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what's after this? Video. Visual learners. Now, a lot of guys can't chew gum and walk at the same time, but a lot of guys are visual learners. Okay? I don't need directions. All I need to see is the picture. Y'all have heard that before? How about, I don't need directions. I know where I'm at. Okay? Don't need directions. Guys don't need directions. We just need a picture. Okay? That's why we're always lost. Yeah, who's talking?
Oh, it's the video.
Yeah, the one that you started playing.
Oh, I didn't know I started playing it. I'm sorry. Did I hit the play button?
I guess it does that.
It does it automatically. Hold it, turn it up.
So writing those out using exponents. 54 is
There's the video.
times 3 cubed.
Okay?
90 is
Now sometimes the video will be an instructor writing on a whiteboard. Sometimes the video will be a computer graphic with a voice, with a human voice. Sometimes it'll be a video of the actual instructor at the board. Okay? All three are visual learning aids. So if you like visual, that's that. So I don't think you need to write too much out of video except for visual learners. It's a video. What's next? Animation. Animation is when you put a human voice with a computer graphic. So
Your goal in this activity is to determine the least common multiple for different numbers.
and that's how you do
For the
that.
numbers of 5, 6, and 35, we first find the prime factorization of each number.
Now, let me go ahead and throw this out, and then you hit next, and it goes on and on and
Five is a
on.
prime number.
Okay, we're not going to do that. How do you get out of it? Okay. There's only one thing I need to tell you about the videos and the different learning. Sometimes the book or the animation or the video may show you a way different from the way your instructor shows you. So, what I would tell you is always go with the instructor. Okay? I show a different way than they show. So what I would tell you is always do your homework after the instructor has shown you how he or she wants you to do it. Okay? Because what happens is if you go ahead of the instructor and you do one of these videos and you get this in your brain, it's going to be hard for the instructor to show their way versus the way that you've already seen. Okay, so it's always good to have the instructor show you how to do it first, and then let this support or reinforce what the instructor has shown you to do. All right? So that's the only caution I would throw out, is just because they show you a different way does not mean it's the correct way. The correct way, and I'm very lenient on methods. I'm not very concrete, but I don't want you to be confused when you see me do it a certain way and then you see them do it a different way. I don't want that confusion to set in. I'd rather you see me first, see me do the math first, and then you see them do it to reinforce what I've shown you. That's what I would suggest. Okay? The last one is textbook. Textbook it's going to take you in the book where it addresses this material. Okay, and that's for you people that like to read. Okay, and of course you can print it out, and it's not going to come up. I think we're having an issue with the book. Let's see if the book ever came up on the other one. That would be a no. Maybe, hopefully, you'll have more success with your computer at home, I hope. If not, then I guess we'll just all quit. Question on that. Now, what about this question? What about this guy right here? Ask my instructor. Let me explain to you a little bit of history behind MyLabs Plus, because I was the one that brought it on campus back in 1998. Okay, it was called Interact Math. And then after they got rid of the little diskettes, little 3.5 diskettes, y'all remember seeing those little plastic diskettes? Then it went to the website and was called My Math Lab. Okay? My Math Lab is where an individual teacher, students could enroll themselves. My Math Lab and My Lab Plus is basically the same thing. All right? Now, this right here was brought about right here. Well, hold on. Well, it's not letting me do it at the same time. But this right here was brought about basically for independent study. Anybody know what independent study is?
Self-paced, would it be?
Self-paced, good job. How'd you know that? Not many people know that.
How did I know that?
Yeah, how'd you know that? I'm just curious.
I'm 31.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 51. I mean, come on. 31 ain't that old. Okay, you're going to have to say something. I'm getting tired of looking at the wall, all right?
Hello.
Yeah, every time they turn around.
It's when he talks. Tell me something.
Somebody say the alphabet.
A, B, C.
There you go. I don't know what makes it turn around like that. So did you take independent study when you were at Tri-County before? Or?
I've done a lot of online courses by myself.
Okay, all right, that's okay. Independent study is when you do stuff yourself. Okay, and My Labs Plus, My Math Lab, Interact Math was invented basically for those type of learning environments where the student sits at their computer or sits at a cubicle or sits at home and works on the stuff by themselves. That's what it was designed for. Okay? But what happened was it caught on in the classroom also, and students started using this part right here to get them to get help with their what? With their homework. Okay? These, and I wish I could, I don't know why this is not, I'm supposed to be able to hit this and it's not working, and I don't know why. I'll just have to point at it. These right here, the Help Me Solve This, the View an Example, the video, the animation, and the textbook, those were used by students in the classroom for help on the homework. Why? How many of you have ever done math homework before and you were on number 15 and you couldn't get past number 15 to do number 16? Anybody ever been in that situation? That's what these were made for. That's what these were made for. Then what's Ask My Instructor? Ask My Instructor is when the others can't help you. So you take your Ask My Instructor button and you hit that button, and you say, you don't have to put a message, but you can, saying how much you tried to do this, and I suck, and all that. You could say, Hubert, please, I can't type, and then this is my last class, and my brain is saturated. Please go over this because you did not teach this. And then, of course, you can add, you suck on the end of it. All right? Now, the reason I do this, the reason I write this down is not to be funny. The reason I type this in and then I put 1, 2, 5, 3, 6, 8, or 3, 6, 9. I did that because I'm going to send it. Okay? And I didn't send it today at 8 o'clock in the morning. I just sent it just now. Now I'm going to go to my email. And I'm going to type in this is what I do every day before class. And I'm going to go to my email, and on my side of my email, I've got my little files right here, see? And we are in 155, and look at there, I got an email. Let's see what that is. Oh my gosh, look at there. And look what the message says. Hold on. If I could get this thing out of the way. There we go. Please go over this because you did not teach this. You suck. 1, 2, 5, 3, 6, 9. I don't know how many seconds that was, but it sent it just like that. Now, what do I do with these? Well, I click on it, and what pulls up in the beginning of class Monday? The question that you sent me from homework. Now, is this valuable? Yes or no?
Yes.
What's it valuable to? I want to see if y'all think this through. What's it valuable for?
The student and the teacher.
Okay, somebody said it's for the student and the teacher. Why is it for the student and the teacher?
One for the students so they know what they're doing, and then whenever it comes to test time or exam time, they won't be stuck.
Okay.
And then one
You said it
for the
too.
teacher.
Go ahead.
For the teacher, it's beneficial because they know what they need to go over for the next class or future classes, so that
I'm
you don't have the same
amazed.
problem over and over again.
I'm amazed.
In my
I'm just
opinion.
simply amazed. That's right. Both of y'all said it. She said it too. Okay? It's good for the teacher and the student because the student can get instant feedback from the teacher, and the teacher, what's the old saying? Squeaky door gets what?
I don't know.
It's your parents' fault. Squeaky door gets what? It's your parents' fault. Grease. What does a squeaky door do? It squeaks. Are you telling me that you have a house and you have a squeaky door, you just going to let it squeak?
Mm-mm.
What are you going to do to it?
Fix it.
Fix it. Put WD-40 on it. Some of y'all are like, what's WD-40? If you don't know what WD-40 is, it's not only your parents' fault, it's your fault. Okay? Anyway, what does this do for a teacher? It gauges the class. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say that I started 5.1 today, and I went through the whole spiel, and I went through the whole whiteboard presentation, and we went over 5 or 6 problems, and I said, okay, everybody do 5.1 homework tonight, which means tonight through what? Sunday night, right? That's what tonight means, all right? Or, homework over the weekend. And Monday morning, I pull up my 155 folder, and there is no 5.1 homeworks in my folder. What am I going to say to myself?
Everybody understand it?
Everybody understands it. That's exactly what I'm going to say. And I'm going to go to what? Look on the outline. What am I do after 5.1?
5.2.
I'm going to go on to 5.2. What if I get 5 or 6 questions on 5.1?
There's a percentage of problem somewhere.
I'm going to go over them. Yes, I'm going to go over them. Of course, the problem is with the students, never with the instructor. Okay? So I'm going to go over those problems again. All right? Squeaky door gets the grease. I don't say OIL. Always, when I say OIL, I spell it out because it's one of those words that you're judged by, and I don't want to get judged. So I don't say OIL. I don't say it. Okay? Just like I don't say CLEMSON. I don't say that either because if you say it a certain way, you're a southern redneck and you get judged by the way you say CLEMSON. So I don't say that word either. Huh? Nobody's going to say anything. Of course not. Nobody's going to say anything because we don't interact in this classroom.
Why are you not a Clemson fan?
Huh? No, did I say that? Did I say anything about being a Clemson fan? I graduated with 2.5 degrees from CLEMSON. Why? Somebody said I'm not a Clemson fan. There, I said it. What did I do? I put a P in Clemson. So I'm a toothless, racist Southerner. Okay? If you put a P in Clemson, you're ignorant. Okay? So the people that don't want to be ignorant, they don't put the P in there, but they put a Z in there. You ever watched ESPN? Clemson. Here we are, ESPN folks. We're in Clemson, South Carolina. In other words, I am not going to be called a racist Southerner, so I'm going to pronounce it with a Z instead of a P. And some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, but anyway. Some of y'all don't watch news either, but I can't do anything about that. Anyway, do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next time you watch ESPN at a CLEMSON game, watch what they do. They will not say CLEMPSON. They will not say that. Okay, I'm through. I'm through with my rant. Breathe. Return to the breath. Return to the breath. Okay. Question on any of the homeworks. Any of the homework stuff that we just went over. So, when in doubt, ask my instructor. Okay, let me give you some examples. Hubert, I kept doing 5.1, number 47, and I kept typing in 5, and it kept giving me the wrong answer. Well, did you send it to me? No. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to have ESP and be able to get the question from your brain? No. Let you write it down incorrectly on the board, and then I'd sit there and try to get the answer for 15 minutes, and I can't get the answer because you wrote down the wrong problem. Okay, you see why I want you to use Ask My Instructor? I don't care how small you think the question is. Excuse me. I don't care how stupid you think the question is. Do you have a question? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
I mean, when you come to me and say, I typed this in 5 or 6 times and it come out wrong. Is there a question there? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. You can't get past this question. All right? So if there's a question, you send me the question. If you get it right, if you get a check mark, is there a question? No. You may have a check mark and say, I really don't understand how I got it. Is there a question? Yes. You send it to me. I don't understand why the answer's wrong. Yes, there is a question. You send it to me. I have no clue what this is asking. Yes, there's a question. Send it to me. Do not come into my class and say, I got a question. All right, what number? Did you send it to me? No. Well, what chapter is it? I think it's chapter 5. Okay, what section? I can't remember. What number? I don't know. How am I supposed to work with somebody like that? How would you? How would you work with somebody like that at your job? All right, let's go through. All right, let's go through Anderson, and then I'm going to pick on Oconee Hall. Okay? Where do you work?
I don't work it.
Okay, we got a loser right here. No job. All right. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a joke. Y'all are students, okay? Students sometimes don't have jobs. How would you be able to go to school? God, people. All right, you work? Okay, let me ask you a question. I knew I seen you somewhere before. All right. If you were at Zaxby's and somebody was to walk up to you and say, and just stand there, at the cash register, and you say, "May I help you?" "Yeah, I want some chicken." And you say, "Okay, what size?" "I don't know." What seasoning?" "I don't know. I can't remember." What would you say to that person?
Tell them to look at the board. I mean, it's big right there in front of them.
Okay, 15 minutes later, you would tell them to go speak to the manager or something, wouldn't you? You would wash your hands of this, wouldn't you? Why?
Because I mean, it's common.
You common sense. You can't get an answer out of somebody like that. Where do you work? Do you work somewhere? Okay. How about Oconee? Who up there works? Okay, Miss Johnson. What do you do? Where do you work?
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Okay, you're a loser too. Okay. Hey, I'm a single dad, so I'm right there with you, bud. Except, I have to drop the kids off. DSS comes picks them up. Anyway, Miss Johnson, what do you do?
I work with a cleaning business.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you. Okay, let me ask you this: somebody calls you up and says, "Miss Johnson, I want you to clean my house or clean my business or whatever," and you say, "Okay, what's the address?" "I don't know." "Well, where do you live?" "I live in Anderson." "Okay, what street do you live on?" "I can't remember." What would you say?
I give them another business card to someone I didn't like, I guess.
And you'd hang up on them. I mean, honestly, how do you think you're supposed to work with somebody when they have this attitude of, you can read my mind? Send the question to me if you have a question. I don't care if you think it's written wrong. I don't care if you're challenging the answer. I don't care. I don't want to have to go through and say, okay, I need to go to Mrs. Johnson's grade book. Click, click. I need to go to Miss Johnson. Okay, this is Miss Johnson's grade book. Then I have to figure, okay, which section? She says she was in chapter 5. Let me go to chapter 5. I think she said 3. What number was it, Miss Johnson? I can't remember, but it had 2. I think it was after 10. And I'm going to have to spend all that time, and I know it's not a lot of time, about at least a minute or two. I'm going to have to go into her grade book and find this question when all she had to do was hit 2 buttons. Ask my instructor and send. She didn't even have to put a question. All she had to do was hit 2 buttons, and we having to spend 5 minutes out of class trying to find that question. Just think, okay? If you have a question, a concern, a gripe, a complaint about a question, the first thing you do to address that question is send it to me. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because it really irritates me when somebody says, "Oh, I got a question." Okay, did you send it to me? No. Then I'm going to keep on going. I'm not even going to address you anymore because I've done told you to send the questions to me. That takes care of the homework. Now let's look at the test. You go back to, will you go over grade book?
No.
Grade book. I'll go over the test last. Grade book. Somebody tell me what they think the grade book does.
Grades your work.
You're gifted. You're so gifted. You know why? Because there's 2 or 3 students every semester that will email me at the end of final exams, and guess what they'll ask? What's my final grade? Do they get a response?
No.
No. You got a grade book right there. Now, see, y'all can't see these down here. Course tools and instructor. So you have discussions, student success, multimedia library, blah, 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 and grade book. Now, I'm sorry. When you hit grade book, to me, there's only one thing that pops in my mind. And you know what pops in my mind? Those black spiral grade books that they had back when I was growing up. I don't know about y'all because everything's done on computers. But they had a black spiral notebook, and that basically was your grade book, and that was, the teacher would have the names in that grade book. Now it's done with Excel spreadsheets. But back then, it was a black vinyl covered notebook, and it had grade book written on the front of it.
I remember.
Okay. What do you think of when you see the word grade book? What's the first thing that pops in your mind? I don't know. Y'all ever seen Patrick Starfish in the Orb of Confusion? Y'all ever seen him when he's slobbering on himself? Okay, that's what some of these people do. Great book. And these people procreate and have driver's licenses. It just blows my mind. Grade book is where you find your grades. And look at here. What does that say right there? Okay, I want everybody to write that down. And what I want you to put after show overall score, and I know a lot of you are saying, oh my God, Hubert, why are you saying this? I have to, that's why. Show overall grade means at the end of the semester, my final grade. And then I want you to write down show calculation. Because when you hit overall grade, watch what happens. You have a link here that shows what? The calculation. And I want you to look at that. What's the percentage of test? 80%. What's the percentage of homework?
20.
So if you don't do any homework, the highest grade you can make in my class is a what? A B. 80. And you have to make 100 on every single test to make a B in my class. If you don't do any homework, 0, you don't touch a homework assignment, then you have to make 100 on every single test, and the highest you can make is an 80. So you're going to have to do your homework to fill in the gap of the 20%. And that's how you find your grade. Now I know I don't know if I showed you all the tests. I've got 7 classes, okay? So I can't remember if we went through the test or not. Did we? Good. But I'm going to pull it up again to show you a couple of more things, okay? I'm going to go to assignments. And there's the test. I'm going to click on it, and it's past due. Well, anyway, look at here. I want to show you this part right here. Look at what's given to you and you don't even have to touch the test. You just, what's given? What's this? The due what? The due date and the due time. And just for y'all to know, 11:59 p.m., that's dark. So if you need to put that in your notebook, because some people think it's lunchtime. Yeah, why did you make a 0 on it? Oh, I thought it was due at lunchtime, and I was going to be about 10 o'clock. Say your ABCs again. I'm looking at a wall.
A, B, C, D, F, G.
Thank you.
I would
I
have
don't know why it
to
does that. This is
We
start.
have 3 attempts on the test.
You have 3 attempts on the test right there.
Okay.
How do I grade it? Do I average them together, or I take the highest grade?
Overall grade.
I take the highest grade. Yes, I take the highest grade. Write that down. That's a bonus question. I take the higher of the 3. Final exam, I give you 2 attempts. Why do I do that? Because y'all have 5 flat tires and 4 dead grandmothers. Most grandmothers, I only had 2. Okay, but some of y'all have 5 and 6. My grandmother died. I'm sorry. 3 weeks later, my grandmother died. 3 weeks later, my grandmother died. You got 3 grandmothers? And all grandmothers die on test day. And everybody has flat tires on test day. Golly, y'all think we're crazy, don't you? So, for those that have lightning hit your house and flood waters take your computer down the river and 5 flat tires and dead grandmothers and all this, you have a week to take the test. How many days are in a week? 7 days. You have 3 attempts. So, let me ask you a question. If you are fixing to take the test. Okay? How many of y'all, okay, how many in here are married? Anybody?
I am.
Okay? How many kids you got?
2.
Okay? Who's married in Oconee?
I am.
Okay, how many kids you got besides that one?
I got 4.
You got 4.
3 girls, 1 boy.
Okay, so the 2 married people with kids in here. You sit down for the test. You got 3 or 4 kids running around like a bunch of Indians. Okay? You got a dog running around chasing a cat. You got your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife ranting and raving about why you're such a bad person. Okay? All this going on. You got lightning strikes and a sharknado outside, a hurricane, and a snowstorm. Should you start to take the test at that point?
No.
No.
You would be surprised how many times I write this down, okay? I would be at home and I would be sitting there. I said, okay, the deadline's tonight. And I write down, deadline at midnight, storm approaching at 9 o'clock. And I'll put the date. The next day, I get 5 or 6 emails. I tried to take the test last night and I didn't get it finished. You had a week. You wait until 3 hours before 12 o'clock on the deadline and there's a thunderstorm. No, I'm not helping you. You see why I give you a week? I give you a week because Murphy's Law is always going to hit at the deadline. What is Murphy's Law?
Whatever bad, what is it? It's like anything bad that can happen will happen.
Thank you. Your parents did good. The rest of y'all sucked. Okay? Didn't teach you about WD-40, didn't teach you about the door, and didn't teach you about Murphy. God almighty. But anyway, if you wait till the last minute, how many of you turned in a term paper in high school and needed to turn it in by 12 o'clock and the computer locked down right before you printed it out? How many of you tried to print it out and all you had to do is print it out and take it right down the hallway and the printer broke down? Or you were out of paper? Murphy's Law always hits when you wait till the last minute. Do not wait till the last minute on my test. Do not take a test when there's a sharknado outside. Do not take a test when you got a bunch of kids and animals running around your house. Drink wine, get in a closet, and take the test. Wait till everybody goes to sleep, shot of liquor, a shot of milk, a shot of water, whatever you drink. Relax, take the test. I have to tell people this because I will get people, oh, I tried to take the test last night and the kids were running around and the dog was chasing the cat. And I mean, really, you can't wait a couple hours when everybody's in bed and you take the test. You can't do that. It's called common sense. All right. So we went over assignments. We went over grade book. We went over chapter contents. The rest, y'all can play with, but it's not essential to the class. We also went over the handouts and the syllabi are on the page. Okay? Now, who's got questions for me as far as My Lab Plus? Settle down, Oconee Hall. This is your last warning. How's the campus up there?
It's nice.
It's
Small. It is small. Empty.
Well, give it some time. It'll build up.
Yeah.
It took a while for Anderson to build up. And Anderson, you know, out of the 3 satellite campuses, Anderson is the biggest, and now we got Lakeside. I don't know about, y'all know about the school next door. They tore down the junior high school next door, and they're making a big robotics, mechatronics facility for the district, 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to be incorporated with us. We're going to be teaching over there. They're going to be teaching over here. It's going to be a big deal. And I think something is moving in up there in Oconee, isn't there?
It's the Career Center.
Yeah. They're moving in the Career Center, and they usually do that second after they build the
Yeah,
building.
they're doing it.
Oh. Yeah, and I think there's something else moving in up there, a couple of industries moving in too. So, you know, y'all, that area up there off Highway 11 is new ground for a lot of industries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll shut up. Okay, let me do the Anderson campus. I know 3 of y'all are here, the 3 that came last time, really. Bowman, Carrillo, and Willis, right? Okay, now I got a question for Zaxby employee. Okay, I love y'all's chicken, but I'm going to ask you something. 2 questions. Why in the hell can't Zaxby's have a drive-through speaker that you can understand what the people are saying?
They always say that.
Okay.
We complaining it fits, but you know.
Okay, the second question probably is answered by the first question. Why can't y'all ever get my order right when I come down there?
I think that's all fast food restaurants.
I don't know, Chick-fil-A's on point.
Oh, well, since you're, hey, I want free stuff now. Okay, I'm gonna come down there and get free stuff. The heck with buying stuff now. If you don't give me free stuff, you fail. All right. Okay, and the rest of y'all are here. And before I let y'all go, any other questions?
You did record this class, right?
Yes, I did. There's several things I want y'all working on right now. One is get your access code. Let's make fun of people. I'm gonna make fun of people here. There is 6, 5, 8 people. 3 have registered. So that means we got 5 losers. Miss Willis, you're a winner. Mr. Carrillo, you're a winner. And Miss Bowman, you're a winner. Oconee Hall, y'all suck. Anderson campus is out showing y'all.
I registered too.
That's only on the Anderson one that you're on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I suck. Okay, go ahead and say it, Miss Johnson. You can say I suck. Go ahead.
Suck.
There you go. Yeah, you don't do it right, Miss Johnson. You gotta put emphasis on that. You know, you
Only the
suck.
second day.
You know, you gotta say it
Only
like
the
that.
second day.
Okay, only second day. Well, let me pull up y'all. Which one are y'all? FA. There we go. Oconee. There we go. Miss Johnson, where are you? There you are, right there. So the rest of y'all suck.
How?
Y'all it's not a big deal. Get registered, get your supplies. I want you to have pencils, paper, get you a Sally Homemaker, not a Sally Homemaker, get you a regular scientific calculator. Nothing big, nothing fancy, but don't bring home a Sally Homemaker. Don't bring back one that just does multiplication and addition. That's no good. You got to have a scientific calculator. We don't need it right now. You can borrow one or steal from your children or whatever. Steal from somebody. Or you can share. Make sure you got a notebook, pencils, maybe some colored pencils / colored pens / highlighters. Have at least 2 or 3 different colors. Because I do highlight stuff in different colors. And I want you to highlight them too. Any other questions on supplies? Remember, the access code is far more important than the book. I don't care if you bring a book, share a book, we're using an old book, don't bring a book, print out the book. I don't care what you bring to class. Everybody has the book online when you get the access code and get registered. Okay? Who's got questions?
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we use our laptops?
Yes, you can. I don't mind. As long as y'all keep it, y'all can't pull up porn sites during class. Okay? Yo, you got that, Mr. Robinson? You can't be pulling up with porn sites, all right? Your back is to that door. Everybody sees you in that door, okay? So don't be pulling up with porn sites. Mr. P, he's older, so I can pick on him. All right, who else got questions? All right, y'all have a good weekend. I'll see y'all when? Monday? All
Yes.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Glad y'all got to see me today.